You're out here doing the work. Hey, Shalom. And we're the Hebrew Israelites. Come out week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America, also known as Babylon the Great in the Holy Bible. First and foremost, we give all praises, honor, and glory to our power,
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakak Wadash.
Hey, the one and true power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the world, man. We give double honors to our elders and apostles at Great Millstone, which rule well and teach His word. And Shalom, peace, love, and blessings to the hopefully elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth to push His word in truth and in sincerity. And Shalom to all the sincere listeners, you know, to the elect, the ones that are going to wake up to who they are, man. Excuse me for my voice. I've been sick, you know. So I got a little bit of problem raising my voice right now.
So it's me, huh?
Yep. The brotherhood is too strong. Hey, that's the main thing that this is about. Hey, somebody get that scripture where it says that the times are evil. Redeeming the time. You know we're in evil time? Hey, that's why she didn't light up. She was like, "What you talking about?"
This is Ephesians 5 and 14. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and the Mashiach shall give thee light."
Hey, awake thou that sleepest. The majority of Israel is asleep, man. They don't know this truth. To understand the truth, that's what they think. You know, to understand the times that we're living in, that all these different so-called conspiracy theories that out here, they're not just theories. All right, they're actual conspiracies that are taking place, and it's really against you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right, because you're the Israelites. All right, and this wicked devil, which is a so-called white man, which biblically is known as Esau Edom, is the perpetrator of all this wickedness that you see in America and around the world. All right, and so to be awake is to understand that. All right, to know who the Israelites are, because that's a very important thing. When you say that you read the Bible, but you don't know who the Israelites are, that's a mystery. That means it's a mystery to you. Hey, somebody get Amos 3 and 7, Baba Kishar.
Can we continue?
And continue on that.
This is verse 15. "See that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise."
Hey, walk circumspectly, meaning that you're walking in a way that you're aware of your surroundings. You're aware of the times that you're in, man. You know that Esau and Satan, you know, because Esau is the physical counterpart of Satan, man. You know, Esau is literally basically the son of Satan, man. You're walking in such a way that you understand that the devil is walking about as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Which is why surveillance is so heavy in America. That's why, you know, a crime happens, and within 3 to 5 minutes, the cops is boom right on top of you, man. You know, they set up checkpoints to make sure there's no drunk drivers and things like that. You know, and so basically, man, there's all types of different things that you could fall into that could have you locked up, or even get you killed, man. Go ahead on. Go brother get his precept.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 7. "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let."
Hey, it says the mystery of iniquity. And so if you're not awake, if your eyes ain't open, that means that it's a mystery to you. You really don't understand what that means, man. Or who it is. Yep. So it's a mystery. And watch when we bring out Amos 3:7, you're going to see who the light of the world actually is. If your eyes are open to it, man.
Until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed.
Yeah, until he be taken out of the way. Which, there's going to come a point in time when this society is going to collapse. And really, these Edomites are ruling over the whole world. This devil's whole system is going to collapse worldwide.
I think I read an article the IMF said something that the global financial economy is collapsing.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, I think it was North Korea that was talking about going into electronic money to get away from the sanctions that the U.S. is pushing. Which that's part of the mark of the beast is to ditch the dollar and gold, silver and gold standard to go into this cryptocurrency, which that's what they're going to use on the microchip, which that's going to be pushed throughout the entire world. So you see everything falling into place. You see evils building up all around the world, man. Earthquakes, volcano eruptions, all right? Different plagues, diseases, all right? The world is actually deteriorating, all right? Because the Lord is sending plagues upon the earth, right? Because the Lord is getting ready to destroy America and to destroy certain kingdoms and to deliver so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans up out of this destruction that's coming.
Says, whom Yahweh Shem Yahushua shall consume with the spirit of his mouth and destroy, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Yeah, so you already see this devil being consumed by the spirit of his mouth. That's why you see everybody waking up to the fact that the so-called white man is the devil. That's why you see everybody waking up to the fact that this devil, all he does is tell lies, and really war is just in his heart. Everything that he does, that he tells you is for good. Like I seen a commercial. I was listening to the music on YouTube, and an ad popped up, and it's talking about some senator that's running for president or whatever. He said, if I get into presidency, global warming will be the focus of the American government. Hey, but that goes into depopulation, because I think it was like Rex 84 or Agenda 21. It was Agenda 21. The main staple of Agenda 21 was to take steps to help with global warming, which one of their steps is to depopulate the world.
Yeah, and what's that? I was going to say Bill Nye. Not Bill Nye, but Bill Gates. He actually came out with a formula talking about how oxygen and all this stuff is what's promoting or enhancing global warming. And he was saying the simplest way to get rid of these things is to depopulate.
Yeah.
And the way they want to do that is through vaccination. That is one major way that Bill Gates came out with the resolution, or something that's going to be used to resolve global warming, to resolve what Esau says overpopulation is to depopulate. They have the Georgia Guidestones that say they wanted to populate the planet to 500 million. And right now we're sitting at billions of people.
Like 9-10 million people.
Yep.
And you drop that to 500 million. That's you're gonna have to create a world disaster.
World War III, bro. Yeah. Esau, that's a new world order, man. You got these kings, these nations. You look at them as if they're really at war. They're talking to each other, man. There's videos I've seen that were like 10 years old, where you got Putin and the Bushes dancing at some fucking some party. They all sitting down at the round table talking to each other, saying we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. They think they're trying to run. They think they're running game on the board. thinking that they're going to cause all this to kill off Jake, to depopulate the planet, and they're going to come out whole. But really, the Lord is putting that spirit on them so it could backfire on them. Okay? The Lord has this is all the Lord's plan. What Esau's doing is still the will of the Lord. Okay? People don't understand, but man's goings, no matter who you are, is all of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua.
It says the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, and he turneth it whithersoever he will. So even these elites, they're not doing anything that's not written for them to do. Man. So really, this thing is already won. All we're doing is just playing, just living out this hell, and until Lord willing, Yahweh our Son comes and saves us.
What's this?
It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan.
See, his coming is after the work of Satan. And what's Satan? The adversary. And Esau is the adversary of who? The Israelites, man. So his coming is after the working of Satan, which is what? It's to come against the nation of Israel, man. Really, Esau is against the entire world. Esau's against, he goes into,
with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause the Most High shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe the lie.
God, so, this doesn't really against the whole world. And that's why it says the Lord is going to destroy him with the brightness of the sun. And that's pretty much all we're doing is we're telling you that this is going to happen before it happens, so nobody can say that they have no warning. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to come, and America is going to be destroyed. You don't got to cloak for your sin. You got no reason. You got no excuse to be doing the things that you're doing, or to be in the mind state that you're currently in. Go ahead.
There's Jeremiah 29:17. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will send upon them the sword, the famine, and the pestilence, and I will make them like vile figs that cannot be eaten. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity.
Yeah, that's talking about these other nations. They have devoured you, Jakes, man. That's why you're living in the conditions that you're living in, man. All right, because these other nations have devoured you, man. Esau, Edom, has stripped you of your heritage. He thought to fucking just murder you, man, and leave you dead in the street. Never tell you who you are, man. He just wanted you to just be some gang banging, pipe smoking, good for nothing, didn't do, piece of shit, man. But that's not who you are. That's not who you were made to be. All right. Esau is actually the one on a global scale committing all these different crimes: murder, rape, pedophilia, theft, thievery. All these different things are the things that the Edomites are doing around the world. First, he did it to you, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Y'all were the first on his hit list. And these other nations, they helped him do it. These other nations, they helped rape, rob, and murder you, man. That's why you're in the ghettos. That's why you're in the poorest places of the country. That's why you segregated away from these other nations. All right? That's why the cops don't help you. All right? When you call them, you might call them for an emergency and they come and give you a fucking attitude and end up beating you over the head, man. Why you think that is? Because these nations, they are not with you, man. They don't give a fuck about you. All right? They want to see you dead. All right? It talks about that in Revelation, the 11th chapter. It tells you that they rejoiced over your fall because you tormented them much. Right? Because you back in the day, Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were ruling the world. Believe it or not. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans were ruling over all these other nations round about you that you see beating your ass and making a profit out of you. All right, Esau having you wearing dresses and telling you that it's okay to be gay and this, that, and the third. At one point in time, you had these devils in subjection. And every time they would fuck up, they were getting their ass beat. All right? And that spirit's coming back on the earth. That's what they don't want to see. They don't want to see Israelites waking up and being what we were meant to be. Wise people. All right? Not no damn drug addict, thieving, pipe smoking, fucking, good for nothing. Right? But some righteous and holy people following after a righteous and a holy God. Right? Because the laws and commandments that we abide by were not given to us by men. They were given to us by the Most High Himself. Through men, like Moses. All right? And Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, and when you remember the garden, the law was still intact, but it was verbal. It wasn't written. It was known. Everything was just verbal.
I can prove that. You can prove that in the scripture.
We just all fell astray. Okay, we fell from grace, and then everything had to be had to be refreshed, reestablished through Moses.
Baruch 4:1 says, "This is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever."
Yeah, it endureth forever. Okay, the word in the beginning was the word.
Yep, and then
so it's always been that way. These laws, statutes, commandments have been here.
The Most High is the Ancient of Days, and it said He never changes.
Yeah. So these laws, statutes, commandments were always there, always. But you can finish it, I'm sure. Just that.
Yeah, it says, "All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die."
And that's why we're under these curses, because we left it. Okay, the reason why we're still in the conditions that we're in, although we repent, is because we're still paying off that debt, man. Okay, that's why we catch out, bro. That's why Yahweh Shai had to be that sacrifice. Because when you read about it, when it goes deeper, it said that He offered up Himself for the things He's done also. So, the life that you're living right now, you have to live it, man. Okay, you have to.
Bless you.
Hey, bless you too, bro. You just gotta live that life, man. We all catch it out, bro. We're learning to become what we were created to be, and that's gods. That's kings, a nation of kings and priests. In order to understand and rule, you have to understand how it feels to go off. You have to understand what happens when you go off. So we're getting a whole 360-degree concept of wisdom. Okay, that way in our kingdom, we're going to rule in its perfection. We're going to know how to rule because we lived wickedly. So we're going to know how to bring judgment upon wickedness.
And so and really we're being judges right now. We judge things every day.
You got to judge yourself.
You got to constantly judge. Should I do this or shouldn't I do this? What would be the better option? You got to make good decisions on what's going to be the better route. You got to think about what you're going to do before you do it. And that's part of being a judge. You're saying, "Oh, this is not a good path, but this is a better path." And the path may still not be the best, but it's the best path for you. Yep, the lesser of two evils, like the brother just said. So that's part of being a judge. And with that, the Lord could see like, oh, this brother's actually learning. He's being decisive. He's using good judgment. The Lord, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna save. I'm gonna make it perfect, right? because he was doing good over a few things, I'm gonna make him ruler over many things.
Yeah, finish this up.
Go ahead.
This is Ephesians chapter 5, and I'm gonna start all over. We'll just continue where we left off, but I'm gonna start over. It's Ephesians 5 and 14. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore, be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. And be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit."
What the will of the Lord is for you to be a living example of how to conduct yourself. That's the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, is for you. Hey, someone get Isaiah, I think it's Isaiah 51, 1. Where it says, cry aloud and spare not. Isaiah 58? Isaiah 58. Yeah, go ahead.
It's Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression. In the house of Jacob their sins.
That's part of the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua right there, man. Alright? Is to show the people their transgressions and their sins, man. Alright? Because there's a lot of misleading spirits out in the world. It'll tell you, this is done away with, you ain't gotta worry about this. Nobody knows when the Sabbath is, this, that, and the third. But what is probably get Judges 5 and 11. Judges 5 and 11 says to rehearse the righteous acts. That's why we keep the Sabbath, that's why we keep the Passover. Sorry. The brother, you don't let the brother get it. Go ahead.
This is Judges 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua.
Yeah, them that are delivered from the noise of the archers, man. Because at some point, World War III is going to happen, all right? And the world is going to get hit with nuclear missiles, man. And it tells you in the scriptures that this place is Babylon the Great, in which Babylon the Great is prophesied to get hit by millions of missiles, to be completely annihilated off of the earth. All right, so this is the places of drawing waters. This is the place where you're a damn slave. You got no assurance of life. All right, any time World War III could pop off, the economy could collapse, and this whole place just turn into a city of squalor, man.
Just look at the place that we're at right now. You can easily see that when no hell breaks loose, this is going to be a nasty place to be.
It's going to be a shithole.
Yeah.
It already is a shithole. Yeah.
You got more on? Continue with this.
Even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel, then shall the people of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, go down to the gates.
Hey, and that's what you see. Okay, you see these righteous acts being performed in the sight of Israel. So you're supposed to be a living example, so that others can look at you, and those that are going to see the Spirit, those that are going to receive the Spirit, they'll be able to become like you, which we're trying to become like Yahushua. So starting with Yahushua and the apostles, the elders, the brothers on down, we're all meant to be examples of righteousness in a wicked world, man. And the scriptures talk about being the light of the world, man. Now we're not perfect, but we are getting to a point where judgment is starting to become natural, like what you can do, what you can't do, different things like that. What you should do, what you shouldn't do. All right, and we got apostles and elders and so on and so forth that are out there pushing that same vibration of righteousness on the earth, man. All right, that receiving the Spirit of the Lord and also doing these things can get you a ticket out of here.
This is back in Ephesians 5 and 18. It says, and be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to yourselves in psalms, in hymns, in spiritual songs, singing and making melody in your heart to the Lord, giving thanks always for all things unto Yahweh and the Father, in the name of our Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach.
Yep, it says, be not drunk with wine wherein is excess. You know? So it basically tells you not to be excessive.
Yeah, it says wine, but that's too far. Okay, that's too far. Okay, you could literally be a drunkard, or you could be drunk off of philosophy, you know? Too drunk off of wisdom, you know? Or you become a madman, you know? Huh?
Drunk off the culture.
Yeah. You could be too drunk off of anything, man.
Which that culture was all set up by Esau. They ain't actually like that, bro. Just a bunch of hog wild fucking, you know, gang members and shit. That's not the way. That's not the spirit of Jake, man. All right. That's the spirit of Esau, is to be a damn devil. Really, Jake was set up to be righteous, man. That tells you that in Deuteronomy. Or was it Deuteronomy 76?
There's that one. The Lord created man to be immortal, but through envy of the devil, sin came into the world. Death came into the world.
Go ahead.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh thy power.
See right there. And that's talking about the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You're meant to be a holy people. All right, go ahead.
Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that's on the face of the earth. Now, when you above somebody, you telling those that below you what to do. That's order. That's what it means to be above somebody. That means that you're better than somebody. You're in a better position than somebody. Even when you go into warfare, the best place that you could be is to have the high ground on somebody. To be flying over somebody. You're at a disadvantage if you're on the ground. That's why Esau likes to exalt himself as the eagle. Because he wants himself to be
Untouchable.
The top bird.
That's why he invested so much into his Air Force.
Yep. The Space Force.
So they always showcase the B-2 bomber, even in movies and whatnot, shooting a nuclear missile out of a chariot or something. You know? No other nation does that.
That's it. That's why in the scriptures it tells you that Esau exalts himself as the eagle. You know? He makes his nest among the stars. You know, because he wants to be above it all. He wants to be above. He wants the blessing of Jacob. You know, but Esau was basically blessed with violence. The only thing Esau knows how to do is how to be violent, bro.
His blessing is actually a curse. Because Yahweh Shai said, he that liveth by the sword shall die by the sword. And when you go into Genesis, Isaac blessed Esau with the sword. So Esau's blessing is actually a curse. Well, Cain meant killing instrument. You know, when you man, there was something I was trying to get to. I lost my train of thought. Yeah. Man, I forgot. It's lucky.
Talking about Genesis.
No, I know, but now I remember. When you watch that movie Aladdin, You watch that movie Aladdin, especially the new one with William Smith. He's the genie, and the genie is all powerful. But all his power to him is a curse, bro. He's stuck in a fucking lamp. You know, he's always telling Aladdin, like, you don't understand. Like, yeah, I might have all this power, I have all this, but really all I want to be is like you, man, free to live and do, you know, do what you do. You know. So Esau's great power is actually a curse in Esau, because Esau, he does things and he makes people worship him through fear, through the repercussion. They fear if they don't agree with Esau, they don't appreciate Esau, he'll drop a nuke on them. So people reverence Esau because of the fear. People reverence the Israelites because the Lord blessed us, bro. He gave us a unique, special spirit, and the Esau envies that, man. You know.
And you know who has that same spirit that you were just talking about? Donald Trump, man.
Well, he's an Edomite.
Remember when I don't know if y'all read the reason why he assassinated the Iranian general. He just said, oh, he said bad things. And that was it, and that was all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the devil for you, yo. You're not gonna come out and tell you exactly what's on his heart.
Yeah.
We already brought out why he went there.
Yeah.
He was having peace.
Well, yeah, I know that, but
Exactly.
it was just another article that came out. They're trying to ask why he
Justify.
really be here, justify, well, he said bad things. Which those bad things could have been him seeking peace.
Well, what's good to us is bad to Esau, and vice versa.
And this is Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
There it is. Okay, Esau led us into captivity. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And it wasn't just Esau. He had these other nations assist him. Okay, you had the so-called Jews. They funded the slave ships. When you go on the internet and just dive deep and look into the slave ships, it was Amalekites that owned them, so-called Jewish people. The owners had all them Jewish banker last names. But who built those ships? It was Ishmael, so-called Arabs. And who was capturing so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, off the hemisphere of Africa? It was Hamites. Okay? So all these other nations, they helped lead us into captivity. There's other nations that didn't particularly put their hand on Jake, but they knew what was happening and they didn't come to our aid. So therefore, they're guilty by association. They're guilty because they didn't help. So all these nations are going to go into slavery. Even prior to this captivity, nations had us in slavery. The Assyrians had us in slavery. Babylonians, every nation, Moab, Ammon. Yep. It goes into Moab, Ammon, other nations that had us in slavery, captivity. Okay? So he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And that's the patience and the faith of the saints. We know that this is going to happen. You just have to patiently wait for it, bro. That's you can't stress enough. You gotta be patient, Slocky. Go ahead, bro.
This Psalm 149 and 4. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai taketh pleasure in his people.
Taking pleasure in his people. The Lord is actually taking pleasure in what we're doing right now. He's taking pleasure in the fact that we want our people to understand the will of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. We don't come out here week in and week out and curse people out, tell people you're going to be destroyed. We come out week in and week out to wake up the elect, bro, so we can be saved, so that all Israel can be rejuvenated, bro. We want to see our people in the right state of mind. Okay, bro, as much as I don't hate my people, I don't hate my family. We just don't like wickedness, man. We desire that they could come into the truth, that they could wake up. That's what's so beautiful about the Lord concerning His promise. In our kingdom, everybody's going to be there, bro. Our mother, everybody. All the Israelites that are on this side, they're going to be there in the kingdom. Our parents, our siblings are going to come back as our children, man. That's spiritual. You know, if you're the first fruits, your parents are actually your children. You know, that's deep.
We want everybody. We want Jake to be able to see what we see. And that's why you see brothers get mad, because it's plain to us. And so sometimes, you know, it bugs you out if somebody can't see it. You know, because there's gonna be a lot of Jakes that just ain't gonna understand, and they're gonna treat us evil. You know, that's why it says in the scriptures, woe to them that call good evil and evil good, because you're gonna have 2/3 of Jake that's gonna do just that. You know, and it's not that we don't have sin, but it's that we want your eyes to be open to be able to see the sin, to be able to stay away from it. You know, to be able to come together, stop hating each other, stop robbing people, stop killing each other, man. Stop selling drugs and doing drugs. Different things like that, man. Stop promoting yourself as some damn big time drug addict kingpin, man, like Esau has Jake doing on the media. You know, taking pictures with guns and talking about selling crack and all this stupid shit. You're destroying. You're promoting the destruction of your own people. That's wicked as hell. If Jake was awake, Jake would be doing all this madness. They glorify it. Who's that coming from? That's that bewitchment from Esau. Yeah. That's the white man telling you, the so-called white man telling you to kill each other like that. To be you know, having sex with your brother's wife, man. Doing different things like that. And in the scriptures it tells you, it lays down the law for you, and the laws are righteous. Back. Go ahead.
Crazy Bone went into that with how the music that Esau pushes out, because it's all talks about drugs, you know, adultery. It's all, they're in league with the jail system, so they implant these acts, how they want Jake to be to keep the jails filled, and you know that's how they indoctrinate people.
Because the prison system is a corporation, bro. It's a business. They make money off of that. Just like the damn hospitals that give you vaccinations. That's a privately owned business. It's a corporation. It's not a government entity. Neither is the Federal Reserve that prints all the money. It is not part of the government. It's a corporation. That's why we say America is a corporation, man, because it's ran by corporations.
Private entities.
Private entities.
Which consist of seeds of Edom.
Hey, which the Ephesians goes into that. Talks about wickedness in high places against principalities and powers. All right. So I mean, you got to realize the things that we're fighting against. It's not a physical battle. It's a battle for your mind. All right, for what you believe in, for what you give your mind over to. Because if you've given your mind over to this system, you've lost the fight. You're not in the fight. But if you're in the truth, the fight is to wake up your brothers, the elect that are going to come into the truth, man, and be in the fight with you. All right? This is a battle for souls. That's what it comes down to. This is a battle for souls. All right?
Can we get this real quick, bro? Sure. Go ahead, bro.
Because even in the scriptures, the whole point of Yahweh Shai dying was for forgiveness of sins, man. So it's not entirely about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, because it tells you in the scriptures that's not what's going to save you, man. Yahweh Shai is going to save you. All right, you being in the right spirit is what's going to save you, man. Go ahead.
This is Psalm 51, and I'm going to start at the top. To the musician, a psalm of David, when Nathan the prophet came unto him after he had gone into Bathsheba.
And this is when King David committed adultery. Go ahead.
It says, have mercy upon me, O power, according to thy loving kindness, according unto the multitude of thy tender mercies, blot out my transgressions.
That's what Yahweh Shai was sent to do. Go ahead.
Wash me thoroughly from mine iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgressions, and my sin is ever before me.
And that's one thing that we're trying to do. That's why Isaiah 58:1 says, cry aloud and show them their sin and transgression, so that they can acknowledge their sins and repent from those things. And offend less. Get better, get in the right spirit, start working on getting things off. Right? Because King David here, he's talking about blotting out his sins and washing them. You know, Lord, wash me. Hey, in the scriptures, Yahweh Shai is referred to as fuller's soap. Yahweh Shai his blood is a cleansing agent. And you wash yourself in the blood of Yahweh Shai, man. And then the Lord, can cleanse you of all of that wickedness.
I was going to say, isn't that a word they use for a hitman, a cleaner?
Cleaner.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the dirt.
Yeah.
Tie off the loose ends.
That's why Esau pushes out all this wickedness to try to keep us in a wicked state. They don't want to see us to be righteous because they know we're coming back to our power.
Yeah, and Esau, he's in fear of us coming to this truth, and the wickedness has been amplified because he knows he already got to 2/3. He's pushing it so hard because he wants to see brothers go back in the world. He wants to see brothers fall back into wickedness. This guy, he's the dark magician from Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Okay? Let me continue.
Go ahead.
This is Psalm 51:4. Against thee only have I sinned, and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I was shapen in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which thou hast broken may rejoice.
And what did Yahweh Shai bring? Joy and gladness, man. The Savior. That's the whole point of Yahweh Shai, is that that's the joy and the gladness that the Lord sent his son to die for the sins of the nation of Israel, man.
When Yahweh Shai came back, when he came back down, he said, peace be unto thee. He was talking to his disciples. After his passion, when he was resurrected, he came to his disciples in private because they were all talking, man, was this real? Like, this really happened?
Yeah, they were
bugging out.
They were bugging out.
And then he popped in, he's like, peace be unto you.
He said, you good. I fulfilled my life. Yeah, that's what he said. Don't worry about it. It's enough. I came to make all things right. That's why this is the comforter, bro. Because it tells you in the scriptures that Yahweh Shai died for your sins. That's why it talks about offending less, because even 2/3. Yahweh Shai had to die so that 2/3 could be regenerated. That's why Jacob goes so hard on 2/3, man, is because they're just still doing all manner of craziness. Yahweh Shai had to take beatings for that, man.
Back in Psalm 51, this is verse 9. It says, hide thy face from my sins, and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O power, and renew a right spirit within me.
That's what the Lord's doing with his men. Renewing a right spirit within them, man. Cleaning us up. Okay? When you go into the truth, you go through the fire, man. You go through a lot of things. Alright? But that fire, it cleans you, man. Right? You go through certain things, you reflect on it, you go through hard times, you reflect on it, and you get better, man. If you have that grain of faith, you're of that faithful seed, man. You know, because if not, that's why you see guys that fall out, right? Because they didn't trust in Yahweh Shai to bring them through it, man.
You know, the scriptures say not to let your iniquities hold you down.
Yeah.
And that's a major way guys fall out the truth, is because they let their iniquities overtake them. They start believing that they're a demon, and the next thing you know, they become that. They become demons, man. You know, that's why when brothers go off, you know, sometimes you get depressed. Sometimes the spirit was back in the day to get on a brother, man. But now it's just like, you know, you try to sympathize with the brother. And tell them, you know, hey, you know, but it's up to the Lord. Everything is all up to the Lord. All right, good.
Yeah, there's this quote. It said the best warriors got the most scars. You know, because they've been through the most battles. They've been through the most fights. So we go through these things for the Most High to, you know, make us stronger.
Yep, those wounds heal, man. You know, you got scar tissue. That's tough skin, bro.
A lot of it can be self-inflicted too. You know, a lot of it really is self-inflicted. You know, the scriptures are a two-edged sword. That's why you got to read it, so you can cut yourself to put yourself in the right mind. Okay.
And the comfort. So.
And the comfort.
You know, because it says in the scriptures that he wounds and then he heals. Within the same word, you get wounded, but then you read another scripture and it's like, don't worry, my son. You're forgiven.
Yeah,
do better.
Yeah, David said, he said, heal the bones that you broke.
Yeah.
This is verse 10 again. Create in me a clean heart, O power, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me.
And that's a heavy spirit to be in. You want to pray the Yahweh Shai doesn't cast you away. You know, if you're in a spirit where you just ain't growing, you know, the Lord could get rid of you, man. You know, if you ain't producing fruit, the Lord could get rid of you. That's why you got to pray that the Lord don't cast you away, man. You know, because the Yahweh Shai could do that to you. That's why it's important to be of a sincere heart and to really take heed to the scriptures, man, and find that balance. You know, don't be over righteous and don't be doing too much BS. Right? Because if you're in a nonsensical spirit, you in like that dazed and confused spirit, you know, the Lord could just get you out of there.
Yep. Verse 15. Restore unto me the joy of thy salvation. It says, restore unto me the joy of thy salvation, and uphold me with thy free spirit. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways.
Hey, and that's why we're qualified to teach transgressors, because we were once transgressors. No, and we still sin, just not to the degree that we were. So we are qualified to teach, man, because we already been there. Yahweh Shai opened up our mind, all right, and we have grown to a level to be able to teach, man. You know, and that's what it's about.
Verse 13, one more again. Then will I teach transgressors thy ways, and sinners shall be converted unto thee.
Yeah. Sinners shall be converted. And that's who the Lord came for, man. That's why the Lord sat with publicans and sinners. The Lord came to heal the sick. Alright? And Jake is sick, man. Jake is messed up. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. We're messed up, man. Alright, you Israelites, we're messed up. That's why we need this help. That's why we need this spiritual healing. That's why we need these instructions. This is Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power commanded you, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do this, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who hath the Most High so nigh unto them, as the Lord our power is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thine eyes have seen, and lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life. But teach them thy sons and thy sons' sons. So that's, you know, these law, statutes, commandments that were given to the Israelites, man. All right, they're so righteous, they're so perfect that the other nations marvel at them. You know, but when the chariots come to save Israel, that's going to be something that all these nations marvel at. They're going to be amazed at the strangeness of the salvation of the elect. And you're not gonna be able to deny who the righteous and holy people are. But that's what we're here to do. And it's like, hey, you heard it from us first. You heard it here first. Extra. Read all about it. Go ahead.
This Isaiah 56 and 1. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, keep ye judgment and do justice, for my salvation is near to come.
This is judgment and justice, right? And what do? We're out here doing working righteousness, man. All right? Because how many people do you see out on the corner doing this, man? For the amount of time that we do it faithfully every week. All right? Wherever the Spirit has us, man. The Spirit has us out here in Fresno, man. And it's pretty dope right here, man. I'm trying to just come out here. You know? Go ahead.
And my righteousness to be revealed. Blessed is the man that doth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold on it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of the stranger that hath joined himself to the Lord Yahweh speak, saying, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai hath utterly separated me from his people.
Hey, that's why the doctrine that we preach is a doctrine of faith, and it's a spiritual thing, all right? Because you got brothers and sisters that look like other nations, and so it says, "Let not the stranger say that we have been separated." You know, we're bringing all things in Yahweh's side together. That's the purpose of this ministry. That's the purpose of this work, man. You know. We teach when the Sabbath comes in, all right, so that you can refrain yourself from polluting. You know, we teach, you know, these different things are sins not to do, man. You know, the biggest ones are what? Homosexuality, adultery. Those are two of the biggest sins not to commit. All right, go ahead.
Neither let the
which that's actually the biggest spirit that's coming out. Is homosexuality and adultery. All right, those are the two main spirits in America that's being pushed around the world, and it's no coincidence that those are the two main sins to abstain from. You know? Just like there's two main commandments to, because I mean nobody should really have to tell you not to have sex with an animal. It's just wrong. Yeah. Nobody should have to tell you not to be doing that. You're an Edomite if you gotta be told not to do that, man. There's something wrong with you, man. Yeah, nobody should have to tell you not to be having sex with babies and shit. You know? Yeah. But that's another big spirit that's out here, which Esau pushes that.
Neither let the eunuch say, Behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith the Lord unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant, even unto them will I give in mine house, and within my walls a place and a name better than of sons and of daughters. I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off.
And that means Israel, when Israel comes back into full power, that name is never going to be cut off. All right, that nobody's going to be able, no nation is going to be able to rise up against the nation of Israel ever again. All right, Israel is going to be the ultimate power underneath the Most High and His Son and King David. Yeah.
This is Psalms 145 and 9. Yahweh is good to all, and His tender mercies over all His works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of thy glory, of thy kingdom, and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men His mighty acts and the glorious majesty of His kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations.
Yeah, throughout all generations. But Esau wants his dwellings to be throughout all generations. But Jake actually got that blessing. You know, Jake is actually going to endure through all generations. You know?
The Lord's gonna make us immortal, bro. Man, that's deep.
This is Judah chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their power, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. And let us go up, and we shall overcome them. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
Hey, look for the scripture that talks about Israel getting a new heart. It's in Ezekiel something.
No, it's Hebrew 8.
Hey, because that's pretty much, that's what's going to happen is that Israel is going to get a perfect heart and never be able to sin. And therefore, Jacob never be able to be taken down. That's what that scripture is going into. Because even in Jeremiah it says that, you know, the nations have eaten up Israel and they say that they offend not because Jacob is doing wickedness. You know? And so, Jake ain't doing wickedness no more, then that means what? That means everything's going to be in its right order. That means Jake ain't never going to be able to be taken down, man. Alright? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that's part of the new covenant, bro. Is that the Lord is actually going to put in Israel a heart that's unable to sin. Because the wages of sin is sin. So if you're not able to sin, if it's impossible for you to sin, then it would be impossible for you to die.
The wages of sin is death. So don't sin.
Doesn't it say in Revelation that Satan and death is the sin?
Death and hell.
Yeah.
Going to live fire.
Death is the actual spirit.
And then you had another scripture that said that death is swallowed up in victory.
Y'all recording? Y'all recording?
Yep.
You can watch that.
It's good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just also saying, y'all recording?
Nah, you good, man.
All right.
I believe you're an Israelite.
Yeah.
All right. No, you just know that spirit out there. One day Jake will tell you, I remember this guy told me I was an Israelite.
Yep.
I thought it was too at first. White Diablo.
He would have came
No, he
through.
said black.
No, we call him White Diablo. Remember?
I thought we called him black
We
Diablo.
call him black, you know, he called himself white.
Yeah.
Oh,
He would have came through with the heaters though.
he had a kid through drilling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Throwing fireballs.
Spider-Man, stop it. Come on with that, man. do those crazy ass high water cakes, the Bruce Lee cakes.
Bro, remember he ran up on that dude? He was just slumped down in the chair. He ran up on that dude. Doing all kind of Bruce Lee shit.
Yeah, no, that's good. You want me to get that though?
Yeah.
Okay. This is Hebrews chapter 8, verse.
This place brings back memories, bro.
Yeah.
You might have to come back out here. Go ahead.
This is Hebrews chapter 8, verse 6. It says, but now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises.
Yep, a better covenant which is established upon better promises. And being unable to sin and having it programmed in you to keep the commandments perfectly is a much better covenant, man.
Verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people.
There you go. That's it. I mean, that's why we stress that it's not the law that's going to save you, man. Because even King David didn't keep the law perfectly, man. King Solomon couldn't keep the law perfectly, man. Adam couldn't, you know. How the hell are you going to expect us to do it? You know? That's why you got these different scoffers be talking all types of shit. You know? The thing is, man, is that you keep what you do what you can, man. And if you go off, you repent, man. You pray. And you hope Yahweh Shai don't get rid of you, man. You hope you're part of the elect. Alright? You hope that you get the sure mercies of David. Because David, he did some things, man. And he got he got delivered.
Oh yeah, he did that shit.
Committed adultery, murder. And he counted Israel, and he was rebuked for it, and he still did it anyway.
Yeah.
He was even told not to do it, and he still did it.
By his top general.
Yep, I think it was Joab.
Yep, Joab.
Did Joab kill his son?
Absalom.
Yeah, Joab went off.
Yep. Even though Absalom was wicked, but that wasn't the place, you know.
It wasn't, because the king's commandment was to bring his son alive. And he could have did it because he got caught up in a tree. You know?
He threw them darts at him.
Yeah, he threw the darts at him.
That's a warrior right there.
Joab
was brutal.
that was wicked what he did, but
Yeah. Transgressed the commandment of the king. That's why Joab had Solomon put him to death.
he got put.
I mean,
David Solomon put him to death later on for it. He just couldn't do it while he was alive. That's why this is the comfort. That's why it tells you in the scriptures. Hey, even in the scriptures, it tells you in the error of thy life, you know, don't destroy yourself, man.
Seek not death in the area of your life.
Yeah, seek not death in the error of your life, because you don't know what's to become you, man. You don't know if you got the short mercy of David or not, man. Yahweh Shai could acquit you of all sin, man. Tells you, Yahweh Shai said himself, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven.
If you're still calling upon the names of the Lord and you're doing the work, then have faith, man. Have faith and keep doing the work.
Yeah, do better, man. Offend less. That don't mean just go back into the world and then go off, offense. You go back into the world, that's basically treason, man.
You bug out when you stop doing the work. You bug out when you stop calling upon the name of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai. Because that happens to guys, man. They start calling upon the name, they start calling upon Jesus. They start asking questions of the day. You know, is this really the truth? Is this really the way it's supposed to be? Well, you know, if you got to ask yourself these things, something wrong. You got demons on you.
Question of the day.
What?
What happened?
I don't know.
You know I didn't go to.
Oh no, but I don't know. I want to go that far.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, if you got a question, if this is the truth, then you got demons on you, because the scriptures talk about being fully persuaded in your own mind. You know, you have to be convinced that this is the truth. Okay.
Oh, that's the scripture, right?
Yeah, be fully persuaded in your own mind. Yeah. You got to be persuaded in your own mind. I mean, you have to have sat down, watched the videos, or listened to a brother talk about the truth, and then be convinced. You have to convince yourself, like, this is the truth. You got to count the cost, man. Counting the cost is an everyday thing. You know, are you fit for this? Because the scriptures do also say, a man that goes to build a house does not lay down to see if you have enough to finish. Okay? Because if you don't have enough to finish, you know, the scriptures do talk about them that are still building are going to laugh at you. That's why certain times we do laugh about guys that fell out, or we talk about guys that fell out, because the scriptures say that that was going to happen. You know, it's not that we're wicked. Those guys that fell out are wicked.
A lot of the times it's not even that they fell out. It's like what they did after they fell out.
That too.
That's what it really is. And like a lot of times, you know, you see them doing some crazy things. They start speaking some crazy or different things they may have done in the truth. You know, you just like this idiot, man. You were saying something earlier that I wanted to say something about, but I forgot.
Persuading your what?
Got my train of thought. Oh, counting the cars, man. Yeah, but I'm counting the cars. You know, because you gotta see the main thing about the cost is you gotta see that, you know, are you fit? It's not are you fit to do the work? You know, it's are you fit to go through the things that a workman's gotta go through. You know, even when you're building a house, you know, you might hammer your foot, you saw your finger off. You know, like you might be up on the ladder, fall off the roof, bust your shit up.
Go ahead. This is Luke 14 and 26. This is red letter, Yahweh Shai, so-called Jesus Christ. Luke 14 and 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters,